Welcome to Book Tease. I'm your host, Jamie, and this is the podcast that reminds you that even the mom next door likes her fiction filthy. We are in our Dark Academia series, and I love it. I'm excited to cover On Wings of Blood by Briar Boleyn. Okay, this is episode 30. Hello, yay. But if you go all the way back to episode 1, I covered Queen of Roses by Briar Boleyn. And this series is not really a continuation, but it's in the same world as her Blood of Fae series. So, we have Medra Pendragon, and Medra is the daughter of Orcades from the Blood of Fae series. Now, she's in an entirely new world, but it's so neat that these series come sort of like tie together. Already getting going, so I'm going to stop and tell you a little bit about this book. This is book 1 of the Bloodwing Academy, and there's going to be 4 books total in this series. 3 are currently available, and the 4th is not available until October of 2026. And I will definitely be in line for that. I cannot wait. This series, this Bloodwing Academy series, is up there as one of my favorites. It is Romantasy, Dark Academia with vampires and dragons. In my opinion, this Romantasy series beats out ACOTAR. Yeah, I think so. And Fourth Wing. As much as I absolutely love Fourth Wing, I think the Bloodwing Academy series beats it out. That's right. I'm saying it, don't at me. I love them all, but this one's my favorite because I love Dark Academia so much. And the vampires, come on. It's great. Let's sharpen our blades and let's get into Bloodwing Academy, where the curriculum is as dangerous as the students. It is blood and dirt there, man. It is crazy. All right. And as a reminder, this podcast does contain spoilers. I won't spoil the whole damn book on this one because just like last week, there's too much going on for me to spoil every little piece. So there'll still be things to discover if you listen to this before reading the book. However, I still recommend pausing and reading the book and then coming back because I will hit all of the major plot points. I will hit all of the highlights. All right, let's dive in, y'all. On Wings of Blood by Briar Boleyn. This book has Medra Pendragon. Okay. Medra, last thing she remembers before the opening of this book is fighting a huge war that ended the Blood of Fae series. I have not read the 4th book in the Blood of Fae series, so I didn't realize that these books tied together. In fact, I read On Wings of Blood before I went and read Queen of Roses, and I haven't finished that series. You don't have to. It doesn't like tie directly. It gives enough information in this book. You're not left to wonder. So you don't have to read that series to read this one. But apparently there was a huge war, and Medra gave her life to end that war, to defeat her grandfather. That's what she did. And she thought she was dead, but she woke up randomly in this completely new world that's run by vampires. And she woke up naked and hidden under a bunch of bodies. So, guess who finds her? Blake Dracaro. And he is basically the prince of the vampires, though there's not really a king. His uncle tends to act as the king. There are 4 houses total in the vampire world, and they are House Dracaro, which Blake is obviously a member of. His uncle is ruling that one, and he's next in line. And then we have House Mortis, House Orphos, and House Avari. House Avari is the only other one we really hear about. I guess they kind of act as rivals to House Dracaro. But yeah, Dracaro's kind of like the strong, ruling, arrogant house. So that's all I'm going to get into the politics, because there's a lot of politics and I'm not getting into it. If you want to get into it, read the book. He discovers her, and of course she's naked and she's gorgeous. And she's got this fiery red hair, because apparently Dark Academia loves a redhead, because this is our second redhead of the month thus far, which I'm not mad about it. But there's not redheads in this world. There's the vampires, who are called high bloods in this world, and they all have silver, white, really light blonde hair. They all have very, very light hair. Apart from that is the humans, and they are called Blightborn, because obviously the vampires rule the world here, and if you're not a vampire, you're less than. And so the Blightborn. But none of them are redheads. They're all got black hair, brown hair, whatever, but they're not redheaded. She's redheaded. And apart from that, she's tall. She's slender. She's got pointed elf ears, because she's a fae. And this is just not something that's seen in this world. So this marks her in this world as a dragon rider. Now, there used to be dragons in this world, but they have since died out. Their riders have died out. And so they take seeing her with the traits of a dragon rider. They have decided that the ruling class, especially Blake's uncle, has decided that this means, oh my gosh, dragons could return. If a dragon rider has returned, maybe a dragon will return, right? So his uncle, Victor, cruel, horrible man, does a forced betrothal and says, okay, since Blake found her, and because Blake's a high up in my life or in my house, then I'm going to force her to be betrothed to Blake. Well, Blake's already got a betrothed, a consort, as they're called, and they're allowed to. So they can form a triad where there's the main guy, whatever, the main person, and they have the two ones that are betrothed to them. So he already has Reagan, and now he has Medra. Well, Reagan's pissed because she's the perfect high blood woman, noble, whatever, and now she has to share her triad with, a Blightborn. So she's not pleased at all, and she is like, decides to make Medra's life terrible, and she sabotages her and all kinds of stuff. So before I get into everything that Reagan did, I'm going to go back to Medra. She is forced to attend Bloodwing Academy, and she doesn't even understand what the fuck is going on with this world. She knows she woke up and she doesn't have her magic anymore, but she still knows how to fight, and she's just like, well, this is stupid. Why is everyone bowing down to these people just because they're vampires? Vampires are drinking blood, they're gross. So she is fierce. She is a warrior. She is used to being almost a princess in her world. So she is like, the fuck, suddenly I'm supposed to defer to these people because they're vampires, but I'm questioning things that don't get questioned. And she's learning about this world, and she is questioning why are they allowed to just kill indiscriminately, and meanwhile Blightborn aren't allowed to even speak freely. And I'm supposed to feel blessed that this is my betrothed, that even I don't like him. He's arrogant. Blake is incredibly arrogant and morally gray. And, but he's got layers, of course. because there has to be something that makes us love him. And we do. We do love Blake by the end of the book. She's questioning everything, right? And she's a very strong, fierce woman. And yeah, so she's trying to figure out why do I have to feel like I'm blessed to be betrothed to this guy just because he's a high blood? Why do I have to feel blessed to join this stupid academy? Why don't you just let me go so I can figure out what's going on? But now you think you own me and I'm supposed to be grateful for it. I mean, it's just crazy. So she goes to this Bloodwing Academy, and it's where all the high bloods go and only a special few Blightborn. And there's all kinds of stuff. She has to figure out the history of the dragons. She has to figure out, why do the Blightborn worship the high bloods? And, you know, like, what's going on? What is all this political? How do I factor in? So she's trying to navigate all of this while her life is being constantly threatened, and she's trying to keep up with her classes and her studies. And it's a lot. There's rituals that she finds out about. There's blood magic she finds out about. And she finds out that Blake's dad was called the Peacebringer, and he was a really great guy, and no one knows how he died, but Victor took over after that. So we don't find out by the end of the book, but I guess we can guess an idea of what might have happened to Blake's father. But anyway, while all this is going on, Medra keeps hearing this mystery voice in her head, this other person in her head, kind of telling her what to do and telling her what's going on. Turns out it's her mother, Arcades, who saved her life with a desperate blood bond. And so now her soul is in Medra's body, not taking over, just cohabiting and helping her get through a bunch of different things. But she didn't even know her mother, because her mother died when she was born, like died giving birth to her. So in a way, she is starting to get to know her mother just a little bit. She never got to know her. But she resents her mother being there for every single little moment and for all her thoughts. And it's a lot for someone who is so fiercely independent and who is such a warrior. So we come to a big plot point, a big thing that happens that turns things, is the consort games, where she is forced, because she is Blake's consort, to be part of the consort games. And she has to work together with her joint consort, which is Reagan. And Reagan takes this opportunity to really fuck her over, okay? She tells the higher up, she formally requests that the crown of bone be used. And what happens? Oh, and that she's extra drugged, because you don't know when the consort games is going to happen. So she's drugged, and then the crown of bone is put on her head, and it gets into your thoughts, and it pinpoints the people you love the absolute most. Well, the people she loves the absolute most are the two friends that she has made there. She has made Florence, who has been a good friend of hers since day one. Florence is very bookish. She is very intelligent. She is the top of her class. And she has two joint specialties. Instead of, like, you're supposed to only pick one. Do you want to be a warrior? Do you want to be a scout? Do you want to be a healer? Do you want to be a strategist? Well, she's so smart. She is on the tracks to be both a healer and a strategist, and eventually she's going to have to pick one or the other. Her mother is a librarian at Bloodwing Academy, and she is one of the only Blightborn librarians at Bloodwing Academy, because she is also so intelligent. So that's her best friend. And her other best friend is Naveen, and he is the sweetheart dwarf. And so they have a little trio of besties. Well, this is how that comes into play. It's very sad. Just letting you know. But she's in the consort games, and Blake has already, like, he really likes her. He likes that she doesn't just fall to her feet or fall to her knees for him. Like, she fights him, she questions, she's smart, she's fierce. He is taken by her and her flame red hair. Okay? But this whole book is tension, 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 and we don't get the payoff. Just gonna warn you now, we don't get the payoff in this book. We get it in the next. But he does find a way to help her get through the consort games by feeding her his blood to strengthen her, and by tagging one of his good friends who is a consort for another house leader to kind of aid her in the games, because he knew that some of the trials you would have to have a partner, and Reagan was already talking about how she wasn't being a partner to her. Well, Reagan almost gets her killed. The blood does help her go through, but the very last trial in the games, she ends up fighting Naveen. Naveen, who has been flunked out of his class, and once you flunk, you never can go home. But they don't know what happens to you. Well, apparently you're turned into these crazy monsters where they use blood magic to bind you with a huge spider thing. I don't know, but it's horrible. And so it has Naveen's face and it's his body, but he's trying to kill her and she has to kill him. And oh, it just will break your heart. But after that, Blake was pissed. And so he rejects Reagan. So he's like, you're no longer my consort. I reject the bond between us. You were horrible to my other consort, and you were horrible to the house. Like, you have shame. You have brought shame upon this triad. So he casts her out. All right. That's going to set us up for some trouble in the next book, right? Because she's from a very high-ranking, highborn house, and this match has been made since they were children. So, okay, that's going to create some turmoil. Then, Medra, and with her mother's help and approval, sorts out a spell to try to free her mother, because it's very dangerous to have that kind of soul bond, right? So she's like, I'm going to free you. And she ends up instead trapping her in this dagger. Oops. So now her mom's trapped into this dagger and she's carrying her around and then talking to her every now and then. But it's not good for our Katie's. It's not healthy to be trapped in a dagger and left alone. Also, when she's using that magic, she accidentally awakens a dragon. There's these huge dragon sculptures in the court. There's one from each of the 4 different dragon species. And she accidentally awakens one of them. When she tries to release the soul of her mother, she releases the soul of the dragon, traps her mother into a dagger. Anyway, suddenly there's a dragon awake, because those are not stone sculptures. Apparently those are 4 very real dragons that have been turned to stone, which is horrible. And we learn more about all that in the books to come. But Nyaxaris is awake. I think that's how you say his name. And so she's like, well, shit, I'm the only dragon rider. If I want to not endanger my life, I need to get this dragon to bond with me, or to at least agree to work with me. But the dragon's like, no, thank you for releasing me. I'm fucking off. And he takes off. And also, that's right at the end of the book. And also, right as she starts trusting Blake, like, they have hated each other the bulk of this book. They're finally getting to where they're working together. They're doing things together. They're starting to trust each other. They've shared some dangerous moments. They have uncovered secrets together. She's just starting to trust him. And then he goes, and it's to protect her, but he doesn't know. She doesn't know that. He goes and he feeds from her without her approval, and it after he does that, it solidifies the bond because she drank his blood to get through the trials, right? And so now he's drank her blood, and now she's the only one he's allowed to drink from moving forward. Whoa, are we set up for book 2, okay? We've now got a dragon on the loose that's refusing her, who is a dragon rider. We're going to have the houses fighting over this dragon because it's not a House Dracaro dragon. It is a House Avari dragon. And then we've got this broken trust between Medra and Blake, but now she's the only one he could feed from. So his life depends on her now. And her life still depends on him because he's the highborn. He is her she is his consort. And now one of her friends is dead. And the other one is in danger because of her. Because, I mean, apparently she's in this like political like pool, and her friends can be targeted to get to her and then to get to Blake. So she's got a target still on her back. And it's just, there's a lot setting us up for book 2. Okay. I know I flew through it. But this book was a lot of intrigue, setting up the political agenda, giving us a bunch of backstory, and setting up for the next book. But there was a lot of tension in here. Like I mentioned, though, there wasn't much payoff. There was some heavy petting. There was some like, I want to resist you. There was a lot of imaginings and fantasies. There is graphic language used. So I can't give it nothing or 0, even though there wasn't any actual sex really between the 2 main characters. There was just some... Anyway, there is enough going on that I feel comfortable giving this 2 flames. It hints at a lot of spice to come, y'all. So you know the second book is going to be spicy, but this one was a lot of tension, a lot of buildup, a lot of foreplay. So I'm giving it 2 flames, but I'm giving the overall book 5 stars because it's great. I fucking love it. It's wonderful. And I highly, highly recommend it, especially if you like romantasy, tension, vampires, dragons, Dark Academia, magic spells. If you like Harry Potter even, because of the 4 houses and all the fighting between the 4 houses. I mean, this is fantastic. All right, let's move on to quotes. I don't have a ton because, like I said, they don't even really get together. They just start trusting each other by the end of the book, and then he fucks it up. So we're going into that tension in book 2 as well. But I do have some good quotes, and here they are. This is Medra. I fought a Fae god, but even then I wasn't sure I'd felt this much hate. Ooh, that was directed towards Blake. She is pissed off at this world, the injustice of it, that she's being told she belongs to this house, that she has to listen to these people, and he is super arrogant. She starts getting to him and making him open up and making him see things a little bit, and he starts having her understand some of the plights of his kind or where he's at and all of, like I said, the politics and the things he's a slave to. So they start understanding each other a little better by the end of the book. But that's towards the beginning, and she feels some hate even after fighting a Fae god, okay? This is Blake. It's not protection, little dragon. It's a claim. You're mine. No one touches what belongs to me. Ooh. He is, like I said, he is an arrogant one, and he tells her repeatedly that she belongs to him, and he constantly is saving her. Even if she doesn't realize it, he is constantly saving her. And he says it's because she belongs to him and no one touches what's mine, but he is intrigued by her and has been since he found her, and he thinks she's amazingly beautiful. He is just like enamored with her, and then she fights back. And so now he's intrigued by her spirit as well. This is Blake towards the end of the book. My heart might have been black, my deeds as dark as night, but she was mine to protect, mine to keep safe, with everything I had to give. She thought she was trapped. I was the one trapped. Trapped with this feeling I couldn't get away from, the need to possess her, to dominate her until she accepted me. Obsessed. He is obsessed. And this is Medra. This is like the closing line of the book. A dragon was free. The world had heard its roar. There would be no going back. Ooh, I can't wait to read the rest of this series. It's so good. All right, I nailed casting like always. Come on, y'all, admit I'm good at the casting. It's always so exciting to see who I pick. All right, for Medra, and I loved getting to look at more redheads, I picked Madeline Petch. She is in Riverdale. She was in Sightless. She has, especially the pictures with the wild red hair, she in the curls and the, oh my God, she looks like she could be some sort of fae goddess, fae princess warrior. Like absolutely stunning and fierce, and like she will fight back, no problem. Yes, that's who we needed. That's Medra. I love that casting. And for Blake, y'all, Blake is described as incredibly pale because he's a vampire. The whitish blonde hair, built with tattoos of dragons all over his body. But the biggest thing that is described is she says he's handsome, but he shouldn't be. He has a almost hawkish nose. He has an aristocratic face. And she says he's handsome, but he shouldn't be. But he looks more like distinguished and fierce than handsome. And I could not unsee this once I saw it. But I'm going Bill Skarsgård. And he was in Hemlock Grove. He was in It. He was Pennywise in It. He's in The Crow. So he knows all about doing these creepy, arrogant kind of characters, morally black or morally gray. Because Blake kills a lot of people. And he kills for her. He kills this one guy for threatening to drink her blood. And it's another high blood. And he just throws him in the fire. So, yeah, I think I can't unsee it. It's perfect. That, like, he shouldn't be handsome, but he has that aristocratic features in his face. It just, yeah, that's who I'm going with. Tell me this isn't a fire pairing. I absolutely love it. It's like she's fire, he's ice. Whew. They should make this into a whole damn movie series because I would watch it. That brings us to the end. I'm telling you, read book 1 and then jump right into book 2 and get ready for book 4 to come out this year. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, rate, review, tell your friends, all the things. Thank you so much. And until next time, stay spicy. And that's it for this episode of Book Tease. Book and theme reveals and episode commentary can be found at TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Book Tease Pod. Theme music is by The Scraps, and until next time, stay spicy.